and I'm excited to show you guys today what we're going to be working on. So for today's training, it's going to be relatively shallow on a very deep topic. So what I mean by that is what I'm going to show today is going to be focused around the IVR functionality of HighLevel and how to basically set it up to work with Capri V3, and really it could work with Capri V2 as well. It's just, the difference in your webhook setup. So I will be sharing my screen showing how all of that is put together. And then if we have time, we will take some questions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about one of the biggest challenges that businesses face. And it was one of the, major value adds that we could see with HighLevel, but it was always kind of needing a little bit of tweaking. And the HighLevel team has done a really good job of now getting it to a point that it's actually super useful and you don't have to jump through too many hoops to make it work. So in case you're not familiar, IVR stands for interactive voice recordings. And basically what this is whenever you call an office and they are not available, you'll get to a phone menu usually that's like press 1 to hear these options, press 2 to hear those options, all that kind of stuff. So up until now, the way that you've had to do it to be able to have that really good IVR tree and, not basically abuse the missed call text back, because that was a lot of the problems that we saw is like, somebody would do a missed call. Somebody would call a Twilio number that you have connected to your HighLevel account. And then, they would call again 2 weeks later or something like that. And they would get the exact same text message. Or sometimes, a call would come through that shouldn't have gotten the follow-up text message because they didn't explicitly ask for it, or it just wasn't an applicable situation. And so it was just kind of complicated to manage that. So HighLevel's done a really good job of their new IVR flow that they have that actually makes this much, much simpler and enables you to do a lot of this stuff directly in the app and allow you to connect to third-party bots, pretty much as easily as you'd like. So I set one up myself and I will do a quick demo for you guys as long as I make sure that my contact has been deleted so that it actually works, because live demos are always fun. And then once you see how it works, I'll actually show you the workflow that I'm using to make this work. So let me just get into my phone here.
Thank you for calling North Georgia Fitness. If you'd like to speak with our after hours team, please press 1. Otherwise, if you'd like to leave a voicemail, please press 2. Thank you.
So then from there, I'll push 1.
Great. Our after hours team will send you a message shortly. Thank you.
Now, you hear that really loud music? That is one feature that I'm going to show you how to avoid doing that. It has to do with the workflow itself. But overall, what's going to happen now is in about 30 seconds, I'm going to get a text message saying, hey, this is Ashley from the after hours team at North Georgia Chiro. I just saw that we missed your call. How can I help you? And from there, anytime I text back, to ask like, hey, this is what I need, or that's what I need, now it's going to use the Capri V3 system just as you normally would. So first, huge shout out to the HighLevel team, because that's definitely not an easy feature to get implemented. I did just get my text that says, hey, I'm Ashley, part of the after hours team, yada, yada, yada. So that was a really good feature, and huge props to the development team at HighLevel for getting that done. So let's go ahead and look at how exactly we would recreate this in our account. So they actually already have a pre-built recipe in the workflow page. So if you just go to automation and then you go to create a workflow, if you scroll all the way down, you'll see that there's one called Recipe IVR. And they honestly made it as easy as possible for you to be able to use this. And when you open it up, it'll have a bunch of default settings selected. And there's actually going to be 2 input things here. And everything by default that they use is using the text-to-speech functionality that they have, where they basically just say, type out your message that you want, and then we will transcribe it into an actual message for the user to hear. However, the robot voice that they use is absolutely terrible, and it's much, much easier to just go ahead and have your clients or yourself actually just re-record the message, because you'll see that for the number 1 collect input from caller, this is by default, it's going to say a message, and then it's going to have a place for you to put the message, but you can actually toggle this to say play a message instead. And then from there, it'll give you a file picker where you can upload the audio file that you want and then put it in. You can choose how many times you want it to say it, how long you should wait for silence, and if you should basically stop looping it after they gather the, like basically after a key press happens, we want to move on to the next step. You can set all that up there. And then from there, we have a normal map caller's input functionality. So if they press 1, so the digit that they press is 1, we're going to go down path A. And if the digit that they press is 2, then you're going to go down path B. So from there, if they don't map any, there's no input mapped, it's actually just going to repeat all of the same actions again. So from there, if they push 1, the 2 options that I gave, because we're doing a pretend business, which is North Georgia Cairo, I said you can either have the after hours team send you a quick message and communicate with them, or you can record a message and we'll get back to you in the morning. And this is a good way to encourage people to actually interact with your after hours assistant, which is going to be your bot, because most people don't want to just leave a voicemail and have to wait for the next day. They would much rather actually have it happen, get some kind of feedback right then and there. They want the path to escalate to be available. So you can always add more options if you need. The use cases for this go on infinitely, and I'm sure we will do more trainings about how to use them. But that is just for this purpose what I'm doing. So from there, originally what I had was if they push 1 and they have the after hours team message them, then I basically to make that happen, all I wanted to do is wait 30 seconds. And to do a 30-second wait, you just do a 0.5 minute wait, and 30 seconds is kind of long. I might do it a little bit shorter. And then if they don't have the tag that you want to use as the discriminator, so in my case, it's the missed call tag. If they don't have this tag, that is when I want to add that tag. So that way, the next time, if they call back to back, because, a lot of people like to do that. They like to call back to back, or sometimes they'll just call more than once. So if they don't have that tag, what we're going to do is send them this message that says, hey, this is Ashley. I'm part of the after hours team at North Georgia Cairo. What can I help you with? And once that message sends, now it's included in the conversation history for Capri, because we get every message inbound and outbound. So we'll know that this was said. And before I dive into that secondary workflow, though, I just want to make one quick correction here. You can see that I have all of this in this workflow originally, but one thing that this does is it causes you to have this really, really loud like timeout music, basically. So while this workflow is working and the 30 seconds are going on, the call doesn't actually hang up. And so your user might get a really weird experience if that happens. So to bypass that, all you should have to do really is just, instead of having wait 30 seconds be the action here, instead, I'm going to actually delete all actions from here. And I'm going to actually just go ahead and add it into another workflow. So I'm going to click add to workflow. And the workflow that I'm going to add is going to be this one called IVR follow-up. And you see it does the exact same thing as that other workflow, where it still is going to wait 30 seconds. It's still going to add that tag, and then it's still going to send that same exact follow-up message. But what this does is it ends the call on here. So that way your user isn't waiting for the flow to hang up on its own and listening to this really, really loud song. So just want to make that quick correction, and we'll go back into the original video now. What you have is a secondary workflow that is pretty traditional for our Capri setup. So the customer replied through SMS and they have the tag missed call. Then I want to fire this webhook, which is the systems.capriai.us/GPT3 webhook. And the agent that I want to use is going to be my North Georgia Cairo webhook. Now, just as I was hopping on here, I tested this and I forgot that we have been doing some development. And so a couple of these calendars are invalid right now. And so I'd have to go through and reset everything up. But if you want to see a live demo of what it looks like once the conversation's going back and forth, we have like 3 that we did last week, and they're all going to be available on the YouTube channel and in the Facebook group. So just search around and you should see. But the major point that I wanted to make here is that depending on, when they reply, you can either just have it so that all of them reply directly to here, or if you needed to have a different agent for every case. So like one was like, hey, if you want to get a text back for customer service, one's a, text back for sales, or one is a text back for whatever. Now you can segment it out. And so each of your agents that you have built to, perform tasks and stuff like that, now they can be segmented. And within each webhook, you would just, so like, let's say if I wanted to have an if conditional here, I want to say branch sales. And so let's say if they have the tag, so contact details, tag includes, and then we'll just say sales, then that's going to be condition 1, and then branch customer service, contact details, tags includes customer service. So if I had these 2 branches, then now if they go down the sales branch, this is the agent that I want them to follow. But if, let's say they go down the customer service branch, copy this action, put it there. Now I'm going to have a different agent. So let's say I want to have this one. And I know this is a real estate agent. It doesn't make much sense, but that is, it's just to show you guys. So I'd put that agent there and then click save. And from there on, anytime the customer replied, if they still have the missed call tag, it'll go through this flow, and then it'll be an after hours assistant for either sales or for customer service. And then in the morning, whenever, your sales team actually comes in and reviews the conversations over the overnight, whenever it happened, you can always just come here, find that contact, and then just remove the missed call tag. And from when you do that, moving forward, it will no longer get added to that workflow. I think this contact got deleted. It'll no longer get added to that workflow, and you won't have to worry about it, out of turn speaking. But this is by far the number one value add that you can provide to your customers, especially medical offices, individual operators, so people who are the only person operating their business, just any kind of service-based business that has to pretty much either have somebody on the phones 24/7, or they have to pay a call center or some type of overseas team, or just any kind of third-party service that their only job is to answer and route calls and manage mundane tasks. Now you can show them like, hey, we have an alternative, by the way, if you would like to at least add a filter and make it so that we can have the bot, who is extremely cheap and readily available 24/7. They can do a lot of this filtering and kind of, directing calls where they should go, and handling appointment setting and general customer service queries without you even needing to, be involved. So when we talk about the value add, which one of the trainings that we did last week, and the recording should be posted on YouTube by now, one of the recordings or one of the trainings that we did was, hey, this system is great, it's very valuable, but how do you portray that value to your clients? How do you actually show your clients that even though it may be an extra expense, it's actually saving them tons of money and increasing the amount of value that you can bring to them? Because a lot of people only try to go based off of the Facebook ads, right? And they try to go just off of the Facebook ads and the automated text. But having a full service system like this, where you can plug it in and have it do any number of tasks, really, it's a different level of service that you can provide. So that's why I wanted to focus on it today. And in the future, if you have more use cases of IVRs, of how you would do, certain tasks and handle, different routing and conversational aspects of it, feel free to just message in the group or message us directly. Our team will be happy to work with you to get that figured out. So that's the training for today. I hope it makes sense to a lot of you guys. And I hope you got some value out of it. And I really am excited to see a lot of people start pushing this and really start to get clients on board using this primary value add. The market is absolutely accelerating beyond my belief. And I cannot wait to share this with you guys and share all the new features that are coming out. So thank you again for everybody that's been giving us feedback, been trying out the beta, letting us know the success and the failures that they're having with it. It helps our team tremendously, and it lets us know kind of what's the best use of our time and how we can really outperform every other tool on the market. So on that note, I'll probably go ahead and cut it off here for today, but I hope you guys are having an awesome Friday. I'm super excited to kick off the last month of the year. And I will see you all at the next one. Thank you so much for hopping on, and I'll talk to you guys soon.